took a while for the NAACP to actually make it to the West Coast, but when the first chapter was started in 1914, it was the only one west of the Mississippi, I believe. And I'm going to take you to some of the locations that are iconic to that early history. So up ahead here, this mostly whitish building with the turquoise top. I don't believe it is anymore, even though the sign is still there. This at least was the Golden West Hotel. And this building is very prominent in early black history of Portland because this was the only hotel in the Portland area as a whole, I think, that not only allowed black people to stay there, but that was their predominant clientele. So yeah, this hotel was built around the turn of the century, around 1900. It's located at the corner of Broadway and Everett. And yeah, this is where a lot of the railway lines were. Most of them are gone now. They're mostly only at Union Station over in this direction. But that was like the first kind of boom of a black population in Portland. They all lived in this area. There was a man named Otto Rutherford who was the head of the NAACP's Portland chapter for a long time. And his father and uncle, you know, siblings, the generation before him, they came to Portland during the 1800s, and at this intersection, which is Flanders and Broadway, they actually owned a barber shop in this area. They were actually barbers at the Portland Hotel, and then they were able to get prosperous enough to establish their own business. Now, the building they maintained is no longer here. Since this building looks fairly old, it was either where this bank is or where this lot is now. And because there was such a population around here, and because that hotel was only one block south, the Rutherford Brothers barbershop maintained pretty solid business, but it too ultimately shut down. And you know, it was really hard to maintain business way over here in downtown when you're forced to leave the area and be relegated to the other side of the river, which is where they ultimately ended up. And that's where the NAACP ties into this whole thing, and that's going to be the next place we go to. And from Portland's downtown Chinatown, we are now, I think more or less we're in the Piedmont district, if that's how you pronounce it. Like literally, one road that way, we're in the Irvington neighborhood. A little bit that way, you're in the main Albina area. We're kind of just a little bit north of all that, because I'm going to show you the home where Otto Rutherford, who again was for a long time the leader of the Portland NAACP, lived, and he lived there along with his wife, who was the secretary for the NAACP while he was heading it. So this was their home, and it's still a private home, so I'm not going to do too much videoing of it, but as I'm approaching it, not only was this the home where they lived in, but this is where they conducted business for their organization, so it has double prominence in that regard. We are now approaching the intersection of 9th and Shaver, and this home, located directly over here, this is the house that Otto Rutherford and his wife, I don't remember her name for certain, but I believe it was Vernell. This is where they lived and conducted business, and it's actually had a major rehaul done on the front wall. But other than that, you can tell by comparing it with old pictures that it's the same house. So that was the home, and there was a guy pulling in next to it in a big truck. and he was kind of like moving in and out of his driveway and looking at me, so maybe he lives there, and he was wondering what the hell I was doing. Just historical research. And here we are. You may recognize this. I just presented this in a recent video I did. We're back to the old, what was one time the Vancouver Baptist Church. Again, this also served as a YMCA, but as probably many people don't know, in the 1950s, in celebration of having been here for I think about 50 years, the NAACP Portland chapter moved their offices into the basement of this building. I believe it was in 1956. So for a while, the NAACP Portland chapter, which, you know, it's Portland, and it was one of the first chapters established in the western half of the United States, you know, that's a pretty prominent organization, and for a while they were working out of this building, which I guess makes sense when you think only 5 years later, Martin Luther King Jr., during his visit, also visited this location. So this place has great prominence in Portland's black history, especially in the 1900s, the 20th century. So it's really great that while this building was kind of falling apart, having problems, facing possible demolition, you know, when so many other buildings in this area, you know, once demolition even becomes a thought, it happens. It's so great that they were able to revitalize this location and keep it here, because it's so important to Portland's black history. Hold the phone. Hold the stinking phone. I may have seen something, I may have seen nothing. But I'm climbing up this hill real quick with what little battery I have left, because I may have found something. What is this? Holy crap. What the hell? So I was seeing these trussels and like, I'm not going to do a video about it, but look at that. It's like a big trussel. You know what this may have been? The bridge back there probably turned and went along the land here and then came down, and this is maybe, because this is very railroady to me. Seriously, I had no idea this was here. This is so cool. This is very railroady. No trespassing. No shit. You think I'm gonna walk onto this thing? Look at this. You know, because I've never been down this trail before, and you can't really see it from over there because that's all residential properties on the other side of the river, but oh my god. Like, look at this. Like, it's very bridge-like, but it's very railroad bridge-like. And then you've got this big wheel out on the end. I don't know what this is. You know, maybe it's not even part of the rail line. Like, there, look at this. That looks like that was a column. Like, this has obviously been sitting here forever. You know, I mean, it's got so much plant life growing on it because it's just been sitting here. God, it's so freaking cool. I don't even know what it is. And here, I thought after, you know, finding the little remains of the bridge over there, I thought that was it for the day. I was about ready to sign off, and then this shows up out of freaking nowhere. Oh man, this is Oregon City. Again, I said Oregon City is one of the oldest cities around. You know, they got stuff like this everywhere. I don't want to leave. Yeah, like look at this here. You've got all these old chunks of concrete that are just here. Like there was something, you know, here that needed support under it. And then you got this thing here. What the hell is going on? And then I noticed down here, look at all this old wood that's literally become like land almost. Like this is just You know, look at that shake. Like I'm standing on like petrified wood almost. Like, yeah. So you can see from the other side the support here. You can still see these going. They're continuing past this down the water. And if you look through there, yeah, you can still see them. Kind of see some of them poking out of the water there. That was badass. Yeah, you've got more. Look at this. This is right in the side of the hill, too. You've got more of this, like, embedded into the side of the hill. And then there's just this building over here, and you don't really see anything else after that. It just kind of seems to end. And then right by this bridge where you see the trestle, there's this. What the F is this? A pool? I ain't getting in this thing. Then you've got like this concrete up. Well, this is scary as hell now. I'm thinking someone creepy's living in this joint. And yeah, you've got this. Whatever this was for, this is obviously some old support metal thing coming out of here. And what the hell is that? It's like a... I honestly don't know. If you know what this is, comment on the video and tell me, because I freaking want to know. Like, it's like a mini... It looks like a kitchen appliance of some kind. Okay, I'm officially scared of this place. I'm getting the hell out of here. So I'm in the Belmont, well, not really Belmont neighborhood, I'm on Belmont Street. Kind of an awesome historical stretch because I'm trying to kill myself on this ice. Building, depending on what source you take, was built sometime between 1895 and the first decade of the 19th century. And like many of these buildings along this stretch, function is apartments on top, businesses on bottom, and it's kind of just stayed that way. So I couldn't really say too much while I was on the stretch. There's lots of cars going by, lots of people walking by, and I really don't know how much of my audio is going to come out. But yes, that building that I was walking by, I think first my girlfriend told me about how it was going to be torn down. I have to admit, I don't know exactly what they're going to put in its place, but it's just... The thing that's the most frustrating about it is the fact that it's along that long, wide stretch of old businesses, old buildings. They're all old. And that one's right in the middle of it. So, I mean, unless they're planning on using that for like a gathering space between all the buildings, that might be kind of cool. But otherwise, like, I really hope they're not going to build a new age building in there, because it's going to look so tacky. It's just going to look horrible. So I hope they have some good intentions on what they're going to do with that property, because otherwise I'm like, why? Why tear it down at all? For a building that's potentially over 120 years old, it looks pretty good. And I just love it, you know, like the Belmont neighborhood around here. You know, obviously a lot of these buildings a lot of trendy businesses and whatnot, and there's just kind of a flair, you know, kind of like there's on Hawthorne, and scattered around there's kind of these little neighborhoods. And that building right in the middle of it, it's very, very upright, rectangular. It's got the blend between the kind of mustardy yellow and the dark blue. You know, it's one of the coolest, you know, just visual, color-wise looking buildings along that whole stretch. So it has appeal. It fits in its place. So again, I'm gonna try to figure out exactly what their plans are to do there. All I've heard is that it's gonna get torn down. People are stupid sometimes. Like me. I'm with this guy today. Where the hell are you going? What's up?
Get in, loser!
Steve, urban. I keep wanting to say urban historian.
Local Pathfinder.
Beard
Enthusiast. It's looking really good on this camera. Hey.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Just make it a little bit more. Just make this a little bit more about you.
About the beard.
Damn.
Too close, too close.
No.
Too close! Too close!
Anyway, we're heading to another destination, and since I'm in the mysterious mood, I'm not only keeping where we're going next a mystery from the local Pathfinder,
the left and right
I'm keeping the
confused.
directions we're going a mystery until the last possible second.
Go right. There's a left right up here.
Oh shit, we were supposed to turn right there. I'm fucking with you. We do want to get into this lane. We want to get into this lane, I think.
Surprise me.
Wait a minute, I gotta pull up the map app again.
No good sack of shit.
Make sure I... God damn it.
You still going straight?
Okay, yeah. Essentially, we're gonna come to a walnut.
Just one walnut in the road?
A walnut streets a little ways down the road.
Specific instructions. You're gonna find a walnut.
You will see a walnut in the road.
You're gonna drive to the Wendy's 3 blocks down the road. Give it to a man named Jorge. Tell him the snakes are all out of eggs. He'll know what you're talking about.
We're on kind of the outskirts of Tigard, kind of getting out to the middle of nowhere, and we wanted to show you guys something pretty damn cool. I mean, we're kind of surrounded, but right over there behind me. So, from what I've gathered, this is an old schoolhouse. I could be moderately wrong about that. I really wish it wasn't private property. That kind of pisses me off. I wanted to actually go up to it. And, got ourselves an old rig over here. Look at that. Heyo.
There is a hair somewhere
in your head.
Driving me nuts. That's cool.
Yeah. This has been sitting here alone for a long time. Trees and whatnot in here. This place sure ain't like Grass Valley. Grass Valley, they let you walk right up into it. And if it was nighttime, I'd be inclined to give it a try. Gotta love Portland for keeping it real 70s. Hello everybody, it's Steve, your favorite whatever, and I'm here on the campus of Portland State University. I went to University of Portland, but I'm not going to tell any of these people. And I got something cool to show you. I am walking to the very edge of campus. Like back behind me is the West Hills, kind of starting over here. And there is a home that I have always wanted to see, but I don't have a car, which should make the fact that I try to do urban exploration even more respectable. I've always wanted to see this place, but if you want to walk, it's like a 3-mile wraparound trip uphill. And essentially this guy who, from what I heard last night, wrote a book about demons and dreams and something like that. He had this home built for himself, and I can't at the moment remember. I'll probably put a title like right here. Yeah, there it is. About what the name of the house is. So I've always wanted to see this place, never had the means to, and I literally just found out yesterday that apparently from not University of Portland, but from PSU, you can actually see the house up in the West Hills, which are literally right up here. And then I get to this general area, and I look directly in front of me, and there it is. I can't show it to you from here because it's all blurry up there, but looking right up there, that is the home. So I'm kind of down along all these off-ramps, kind of meshing the freeways and highways together. And this is about the best ground view you can get from semi-close to the beautiful castle. If you kind of look just right here, that's where like the main tower, if you want to call it that, is, and then kind of the rest of it off to the side. Since trying to see the place from ground level up close has proven to be such a lesson in futility, I'm gonna head up to the PSU library, where it's a further away shot, but you'll be able to see the building more clearly. So yeah, not too worried about not being able to get too close to the building, because I am planning on paying a visit to the location and then delving a little deeper into what it looks like, the history, so and so, but this is kind of an introductory piece. See you guys.